yourself for the rubber band. Man, you'll never heard a sound like the rubber band. Man, you're bound to lose control when the rubber band starts to jam.
Welcome to episode 5 of Damn Fools. Episode 5. Wow. My name is Eric.
And I'm Trenton.
And we are your hosts. And you know what? The music, every episode, it's another hit. The Spinners, Rubber Band Man. Come on, Trent. What pressure are you running?
We'll talk about that a little later. Eric.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But I guess tires are essentially just big rubber bands.
That said,
right. But we do not recommend equipping your bicycle with the Office Supply variety. Don't go to Office Max and buy those rubber bands.
Bad idea.
It's not going to get you through the dam. Well, we've got a rubber band man of sorts here with us tonight to tell you all about different kinds of rubber, shoes, meats, kicks, bicycle tires, whatever you want to call them. But you might want to think about what you're going to be running for the day across Minnesota.
That's right. Tire choice, Eric. That's one of our most debated and talked about items in gravel riding today. Damn or no, that's what people want to talk about. So there are a lot of options out there on the market, but how do you know which one is the right one for the task at hand? Tonight, we've got Bob Cummings, manager of the Panaracer World Team, joining us to help you figure out what the right tire is for your day across Minnesota attempt. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, man. So we're going to jump right into the question of the day. Drum roll, Eric. You brought the sticks out. He's got the sticks. Definitely the most asked question in day across Minnesota history. What are the right damn tires to get me to that Hager City finish line? I'm sure there are a few different ways that one could go about it. So, Bob, with our 240-mile course, only about 15 of those miles are pavement. Really, awesome. The ratio is super heavy gravel. The gravel changes county to county, township to township. We're talking black dirt B roads, silty river gravel, and then limestone base hero gravel once you get to the driftless. What are the things that one should consider when selecting their damn tires?
Well, the first thing you want to consider, obviously, is how much gravel to pavement that you're dealing with. And then the gravel that you are dealing with, is it, you typically want to run, I want to err on the side of bigger, right? So, your average tire size is going to fall right there into a 35 or a 38 millimeter wide tire. That's the kind of the sweet spot, and then you can go up or down, from that size. So you want to kind of you really need to set up for the worst part of the course because, that's where the attacks are going to happen. That's where the fireworks are going to happen. It's just like, any road race or whatever, people wait for those moments.
So we're hearing big from you. So Eric and I have heard the phrase from riders at the dam before, comfort equals speed. And I can't say we disagree with that. So should a racer go as big as their fork and stay clearance will allow?
But we come from a racing standpoint, right? So, if you're just tour riding and you're looking to finish with your buddies and set your own PR record, go for comfort, go for the biggest tire you can fit on your bike. Assuming that it's dry and mud isn't an issue. But obviously, there's a trade-off with everything. So, it sounds like from what you're telling me, the 35 to 38 tire would probably be our choice. The 38 being our largest tire. We don't actually run the 42 much anymore because the 38 performs so well.
Really? Yeah, the 38 I would say would be personally for me for the dam, and I'm looking at this photo behind me, this section in the westmost part of our state that you're riding in the pitch black. It gets pretty soft and it's primarily black dirt on some of those B roads. You can sink in real good. So having a tire just as wide as a 38 is definitely beneficial, especially for the night riding.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you've got, if softness comes into the equation, you definitely want the biggest tires because you can run the lower pressures. And that does make a big difference, especially for, bigger riders like myself. You sink into that stuff and it can just create a lot of drag.
So you mentioned rider size, and that's got me thinking about something. Tire size, rider size. I'm thinking about PSI. So what kind of tire pressure should a gravel rider run in their tires, and what's the best way to calculate that based on all the different variables?
Well, I have my own secret formula, but
Oh
I'll
yeah,
share.
gonna share?
Yeah, really. I mean, because you guys don't even want to know the amount of testing and just. I mean, I'm the guy that's out there riding with a digital tire pressure gauge and stopping every 5 miles and changing half a pound. And I mean,
Nice.
trying to set the team up,
Yep.
and it's all about testing and just done so much testing that, and now things are, set up pretty easy, but, because of all of our history. What I typically find is people are always running more overpressure. Now I'm speaking just for Panaracer tires, okay? So I know what pressures, work with our tires, and that's going to vary with other manufacturers with their construction, their shape, and those sort of parameters. But here's my general rule of thumb formula. A 35 millimeter tire is 35 pounds. Okay.
All right.
And this is so easy to remember, and that's for the front tire. Okay. So basically, if you run a 35, then a 35 psi is the right tire for, let's say, a person of 180-ish pounds. And then basically I go up on the rear, so I set my pressure to the front tire, and then I adjust the rear, and typically it's about a 3-pound increase in the rear.
Got it.
And so again, how you set your bike up, you can adjust that rear to balance out the front. The guys that put all of the big, huge saddlebag on and all the weight, and the geometry of their bike has them sitting all the way back. And, so you're gonna have more weight on the rear. You're gonna want to bump up your pressure. But so the starting point is 35. Okay, and then here's the secret, right? For every pound or for every millimeter the tire goes up, the pressure goes down an equal pound.
Nice.
Yes.
That's easy.
So a 37 millimeter tire is going to be 33 pounds.
Nice.
40 millimeter, 30. And actually what's really crazy is within that window of, that 35 being the median, size, up and down, that pressure, if you get, once you get into a road tire with like 28, the curve starts going up higher pressure. You know what I mean? That formula only really works in this kind of window from, let's say, 30 to 45 or 30 to, in that tire range. But pretty much the width goes up, the tire pressure goes down 1 pound. And so you can pretty much, everybody can set their tires right off of that, and then add 1 or 2 pounds for weight. So add or subtract a pound, or 2 for your weight. And that's pretty much golden.
Well, I got to go a little air out now. I'm running about 3 pounds too heavy here. So.
I'll just say, because that sounds kind of like my strategy, and I haven't had a flat yet, Trent. So I don't know.
That is good to know. That's a really great formula and super easy to remember. I'm sure riders are going to appreciate that. My next question is tread. So slicks, knobbies, we've seen it all. What does the ideal tread on the ideal gravel tire look like? Oh, he's got it right there. That's it right there. Oh, that's the new SS, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, this is what we've arrived at. I mean, we have it all. We've tried it all. I don't know how well this comes through in
it looks nice. Yeah, it looks great.
Better, yeah.
But tread. Oh my gosh, another huge debate. I mean, and again, tested everything from extremes. From straight up. The Panaracer. They have the GK. The Gravel King GK slick line. It just has a really, really subtle file tread. And is it fast? Yes. Is it dangerous? Washboarded, rutted out. Downhill off camber gravel turns, it's super dangerous. Everybody pushes the limit, and that was the 22 that we always found. That's where the Gravel King, the GKSK, which means small knob, that was our go-to tire, because it doesn't matter how fast you are if you're laying in the ditch broken and bloodied, right? And I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. The Gravel King Slick is a fantastic tire. When you're doing some road and occasional off-road, or you're riding by yourself. I mean, it's an incredible tire. Incredible comfort, speed, durability, the whole thing. This fall, I pulled all my stuff off and I threw on the Gravel King 38 slicks, and I did local races, and that was like okay, I'm going to ride this tire. I did a bunch of testing. I've literally got like roll down gravel. I'm out in the country. I actually live out in the country. I live like Flint Hills is right out my back door, literally.
Nice.
And so I've got all kinds of terrain that I do testing on, and people do these tests of gravel tires on rollers and machines and labs and stuff. I mean, just it's like, okay, whatever. Just the stuff. I don't buy it. It's real world for me. I'm just that kind of real world kind of guy. And so I took the slicks out there and they were definitely fast. And so Panaracer, we were kind of of the same mind of like, hey, let's bridge the gap, between the speed of a slick tire and the stability of the GKSK, because
Nice.
it's just unbelievably stable, and in the SK is fast, but the slick was faster. And I was actually, honestly, I hated to kind of admit it, but the slick was faster than the knob. More, it surprised me when I actually mounted up every size. I mean, I was literally out there, for like days, just mounting up every size, tires, roll downs, coast down tests, and the slick tire just left everything in the dust.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow! I knew there was a difference, but there was a massive difference, more than I actually expected, honestly. And so that's where it's like, okay, guys, let's work together here and let's come up with the ultimate all-around gravel tire. And so what we did was we took just some of the components and traits of both. I don't know if you can see it or not.
You can see pretty well there, yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess I can try to do this. So instead of 2 bars, we put in 3 bars, so there's more surface area to bite. You see what I'm saying? And then these little bitty ridges are biting edges. And so when you get down into a rut, like I said, that literally would just bite on that rut and pull you out.
Nice.
So, and then when we're talking about, so that's on the side, and then in the center, what we did was we basically took a chevron pattern, but then we made it parallel instead of perpendicular. Again, we don't need tractor type tread, because that's for forward grip, And so we took that, made it more like, if you look at, some motorcycle, tire technology, if you look at some of those patterns, you'll see there's a zigzag, kind of a vertical tread pattern. It gives you some forward bite, but it's giving you the stability and the speed, without the rolling resistance. So this has more tread on the top than the actual slick, but it's just as fast, if not faster, down the center of the slick. And then we added in a small diamond between the two. If you can see the little diamond right there, the little diamond tread pattern. And so what that does is, so when you're rolling along straight, it's just pure, stable slick, essentially, but actually more stable. And then as soon as you start to lean, right, then you get right on those diamond knots. Or let's say you're climbing, you're going up a hill and you get out of the saddle, or you're rocking your bike. So every time you're putting a forward traction element into the tire, you're rolling right on the diamond tread. See, so you don't have any slippage or whatever.
Nice.
Or if you're leaning into a turn or something like that, because our turning angles are, dramatically less obviously than road.
Yep.
And so, just put the sweet spot of everything we had and just put it on one tire and keep it lightweight.
Design.
With the protection and everything we needed. And it has performed incredibly well in every condition. And
it comes in a 35, a 38, a 40?
32, and a 42.
And a
so
42.
we got a
Nice.
32, a 35, a 38, and a 42. And so
Beautiful.
pretty much any size that you need. And when you're rolling around on the pavement, I mean, it's dead quiet. You don't hear it, and just flying along.
Awesome. So our last question for you, Bob, tubes or tubeless?
Oh, well, that's a question.
I'm just softballing it in there for you.
Is this 2010 or 2020? Is there some sort of time warp here?
I'm in a DeLorean right now.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Did we just go, well, if we could skip 2020, it might not be a bad thing.
It might not be a bad thing.
But no, I haven't ran tubes in 6-7 years,
Nice.
even on the road.
And you guys, Panaracer, you guys have a sealant too, right?
Yes, absolutely. Let me show you what we got here. It's called the Seal Smart.
Awesome.
And I tell you, it's interesting. Even just when I first mounted it, it was immediately evident. I don't know how to do it, but I know when it's good. You can just tell by mounting it. You get a little bit on your rim or a little bit on your tire, and just the way it reacts to the air in the tire, just even as you're mounting it, and it turned to like latex, like almost within seconds, and like a latex skin, and I was like, wow, that's a fast setup, and then they put the crushed walnut shells in there, which is the perfect coagulant.
Really?
Yeah, it's crushed walnut shells.
No joke.
It's just like think about like how your blood it's got platelets,
Yeah.
and well, it's the same thing, but you have to have just the right material in there, because I used to I would make my own homebrew, even mixed up sealant. Like I would add glitter, I would add different things, because we were having damage. Yeah, we would have damage, right? That they really weren't used to like how do we like a mountain bike, right? You're only running 20 22 pounds, whatever, and you get a thorn or a puncture, that's easy for sealant to cover. Put a 35 tire on there with 38 pounds of pressure and have a massive puncture or slice. You're asking that sealant to stop a large damage with high pressure, and that's not an easy job. And so you have to have something in there that can, as it's coming out, it dries and piles up, and then it basically dries from the outside in. And there's been rides where I've hit a piece of glass, or I've hit things in my ride and never even knew it. And then I get done and there's some sealant on the bike, and I see a little scab on the tire, and I'm just like, wow, I didn't even know I had a puncture.
Awesome.
It sealed it up so fast. But yeah, it's an incredible. It's the best sealant I've ever used.
I got to check that out, man. Seal Smart. All right.
Seal Smart.
Get on it.
So thank you, Bob, for joining, for being on the show. Appreciate it. Yeah.
My pleasure. Hope
Yeah.
I didn't bombard you with too much information.
No, it's awesome,
no.
man.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was fun. It was informative. So it was great. And for those in the market for new gravel tires, please visit panaracer.com, shop the gravel section.
Is the team going to come and join us at the Dam this year?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely going to put out a message here to the team, and definitely get some guys and gals up there to check out your event. And it's the more you talk about it, the more excited they get about it. Because it sounds like an epic event.
I think that's
it for episode 5, man. Please be sure to tune in for episode 6 and keep the rubber side down.
I don't know.